Good morning, Trump's family. Welcome back to my channel. Hope you having a great weekend and God bless you. Alright, let's get into the news this Sunday morning. You're not going to believe this, but I'm reading from US News and World Report. Actually, it's all over the place. Phony document lands on court docket in Trump's search case. Document purporting to be from the US government and claiming the Treasury Department had information related to the search at Donald Trump's Florida estate was a fabrication. This is an Associated Press article from several hours back, and it's being republished everywhere. Washington. When a government document mysteriously appeared earlier this week, in the highest profile case in the federal court system, it had the hallmarks, very important. We'll use the word very important storyline in the Justice Department's investigation to classify records stored and former President Donald Trump's Florida estate. So apparently, Merrick Garland and the Department of Justice, or the courts involved in this search, took a phony fabricated documents seriously that they obtained at Mar-a-Lago. It's a very bizarre, confusing story. But apparently, the thing is complete nonsense, completely fake and phony. And they took it seriously. And they were easily deceived. Very possible, likely, almost certain, or just possible. It's a Trump planted something so absurd, just to make them look bad, or potentially, for them to utilize that inadvertently, if they were ever to try to indict him. I'm not exactly sure what the motive would be. But it doesn't look good that the government was so easily deceived by this. And how some people in the United States Trump get investigated endlessly. Let's just read this really quickly. The document purported to be from the U.S. Treasury Department claimed that the agency had seized sensitive documents related to last month's search at Mar-a-Lago and include a warrant ordering CNN to preserve, quote, leaked tax records. The document remained late Thursday on the court docket, but it's a clear fabrication and review of dozens of court records and interviews by the Associated Press suggests the document originated with a serial forger behind bars at the federal prison complex in North Carolina. So the incident also suggests that the court clerk was easily tricked into believing it was real landing, that it wasn't just the court clerk landing the document on the public docket in the Mar-a-Lago search warrant case, and also highlights the vulnerability of the U.S. court system and raises questions about the court's vetting of documents that purport to be official records. Good luck convicting Trump when you 1. Allowed secret servers to siphon classified data outside of the United States government before years. When you talk, okay, here's a very simple basic logic. Whenever Democrats or people on the left are morally superior, the highly educated among us, whenever they say, oh, that's whataboutism. Okay. That is a euphemism for hypocrisy. You're pointing out hypocrisy. Yes. I'm pointing out hypocrisy. Yes. That is a logical and rational way of pointing out hypocrisy, or pointing out a disparity in emotion for something far more egregious and criminal. And for something that's obviously not that big of a deal or less serious. So for example, the way Democrats operate as Trump jaywalks, oh my God, you're sending SEAL Team 6. Democrats rob banks up no problem. It's what about is him if you bring it up? What about is it's like, no, you did worse, much worse. Even James Comey himself said, yeah, Madam Secretary broke laws, but we're not going to indict. We haven't found a reasonable prosecutor who would indict them. The mentality or the justification for not indicting as well. They were broken, laws broke. We didn't feel that we wanted to take a Democrat to court or, prosecute our convicted Democrat. With Trump, he had boxes at Mar-a-Lago. Very different from siphoning classified data on email chains that could have been taken and hacked by the entire planet. Even Michael Hayden stated that there is a clear difference between a secret private network of servers siphoning classified data outside of the United States government, which is a cybersecurity nightmare, making a mockery of classified data, and boxes at Mar-a-Lago. They couldn't get Trump. And by the way, these boxes were already inspected, at least the facility they were being held by the Federal Bureau of Investigation in June. And then the FBI said, go ahead and just add another lock to it. Okay, these are boxes, not a network that you could infiltrate, and then, with through cell phones or through computers. But anyway, you have a situation, ladies and gentlemen, where Trump is not treated in the same manner that Clinton or Hunter is. Hunter, for example, had emails that show clear graft, bribery, kickbacks. Those are serious felonies. Trump is a former president with the power to declassify almost anything. Clinton was not, did not have that authority to do so, didn't even have the authority from President Obama to operate private servers, or maybe he gave tacit approval. Okay. And I want to Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump 2024. I would love that. Nobody on YouTube wants Hillary Clinton to be nominee more than me, for a number of reasons. She'd be better than mashed potato brains, Joe. I mean, this is like, complete catastrophe we have as president, but I'd vote for Trump a million times over. I think Trump would defeat Clinton again, but I want record highs and household median income record low in poverty in 2019. If you are a socialist or far left pundit, wouldn't you want to record low in poverty? We have that with Trump in 2019. What is it about record low and poverty you don't like and a record high in household median income? That's 2019. Okay, we don't have that now that we have inflation. We're going to experience devastating market crash. We're already seeing the market crash. But they don't have anything that they can run on. The economy is in freefall. Inflation is through the roof, 8 to 9%. Real wages are down 4.4%. The opposite took place with Trump. We had inflation less than 2%, around 2%. And then we now are in a recession, with interest rates rising. So you do the math on that, the entire stock market's going to plummet, unfortunately, and you'll see layoffs, unfortunately. And the recession could be very prolonged recession, unfortunately, but anyway. They don't have anything on Trump. He was supposed to have been colluding with Russia, and then of the ICO, the Durham probe. Special counsel hasn't really found anything. The Mueller probe was a complete failure in every way. It found nothing except exonerating Trump. The whole point of the Mueller probe was that he was colluding, and we're gonna find evidence through a special counsel by indicting everyone around him. They're gonna flip in saying, and nobody was indicted for colluding with another country. It never happened. People were indicted on processed crimes. You know how many processed crimes you could have found. If you just actually investigated Clinton or Hunter or Joe, and Joe will be impeached in 2023. That's why you watch this channel, because a lot of the things I've been saying, Joe is gonna get impeached. And the market, I told you, was gonna crash years back. I said Clinton would lose Trump. So a lot of things I've been telling you are taking place. I'm not worried about everything, but I have a pretty good pulse of what's going on. There. We're supposed to get Trump. He was supposed to get him for colluding. It never happened. Then Stormy now Avenatti is in prison. They received his tax returns. Oh, my God, be obsessed over that. They have his tax returns. Now. They found nothing. He pressured officials in Georgia. Nothing. Then they said, oh, a New York. His corporations were corrupt. And he's a criminal. They found nothing. Okay. Then he overthrew democracy. He overthrew tomorrow. Kinzinger and Cheney failed miserably. And Democrats show everything they've thrown at Trump has been a cataclysmic apocalyptic failure of epic biblical proportions. And they don't have anything but the hysteria regarding Trump. They can't stand the man, they have utter contempt for him. And they are willing to, you heard it from a very famous, highly educated, revered in a liberal intellectual. Kickbacks aren't as important as Trump University. Nobody even understands what that was all about. It was a civil case that had nothing to do with national security. It was nothing compared to bribery and graft and kickbacks for the future President Light. So it's all distilled into, at the end of the day, all politics is distilled into this fine mist of liberal sensibilities that just you can't grasp it. It's just they're confronted with serious felonies. And they say, well, Trump is worse. And that's the fallback. And that's the belief. Trump is worse. We've been suspicious of him. We can't prove anything. But he's a criminal. And actual crimes like siphoning classified data, where Comey actually stated they were violations of the law. But we're not going to indict. And there are literally emails asking Hunter for help for favors. And then you can prove that favors took place, and there was 150 suspicious financial transactions, but they're impervious to actually looking into the mirror and saying, okay, there were actually crimes committed by Democrats. See, this is all a battle for emotion. It's not about information. You can actually give morally superior Democrats actual information. You can explain to them, hey, here's what your side did. Here's what your political side did. Graft bribery, kickbacks, clear violations of the law, pay to play schemes, serious felonies. Okay. Oh no, that never happened. It never will. Read the Daily Mail. And well, the New York Post broke the story. Why do you think Twitter suppressed it? Well, there was Federal Bureau of Investigation agents writing letters and getting social media algorithms to go to bat for the Democratic Party. So the New York Post was suspended. GE must be nice to have social media. They have everybody from Jimmy Kimmel to social media algorithms to corporations to almost every publication out there on their side. And still close to half the electorate chooses Trump. They would choose it, indicted Trump in the polls over mashed potato brains. And we have a terrible economy. Terrible foreign policy. We have DeSantis and Avid. This is, I find this absolutely amusing. It's not hilarious because you're dealing with people's lives. But the sad, shameful, pathetic manner in which Democrats have reacted. Look at that stunt, sending these people to Martha's Vineyard. Well, wait a second. You're saying that Martha's Vineyard doesn't have the resources or the ability to handle an influx of people. Gee, where have we heard that before? All that's right. That's been the conservative Republican or Trump Republican rebuttal since the beginning of time pertaining to this discussion. Set when Democrats push come to shove. When push comes to shove, they turn into Republicans within a split second. Oh, Martha's Vineyard. We don't have the resources. That's what people in Texas and Arizona are saying. They don't have the resources either. And then you get like MSNBC saying this is a stunt. No, it's not a stunt. It actually is just a mirror to who you really are as wonderful, highly educated liberal Democrats, beautiful people. You don't want to live by your own policies. Okay. That's why you have liberals moving to red states and then ruining the politics there. That's why you have one politician in Southern California who had her home burglarized and the burglars took firearms. This is obviously a politician that we have no problem erasing the Second Amendment. And then you have Democrats spending $30,000 a year on armed security details. You think when push comes to shove, they're going to protect themselves? They're not stupid. Democrats are hypocrites, but they're not stupid. They're gonna go ahead and protect themselves and their families like everyone who bought utilize the Second Amendment like I do, like you do. They're gonna own firearms. They're gonna be upset. When there's an influx of people in Martha's Vineyard, they're doing a flush strategic petroleum reserves into the country, which is the antithesis of the Green, wherein the Green New Deal doesn't say flood strategic petroleum reserves. You hypocrites all worried about ism. No, it's called hypocrisy. None of your. Then we don't have to get into the Medicare for all hoax scam. That how much money have individual pundits on the left made from that? Oh, Medicare for all AOC. You wouldn't even vote on it in the House. My God, water racket. Anyway, hit subscribe to this channel, ladies and gentlemen. Pretty interesting how this all turned out. You can read the article. It's phony documents, landline court document in Trump search case. It's an Associated Press article. Very bizarre. Trump is not perfect all the time, but he's oftentimes one step ahead of these people. It's kind of hilarious. Thank you very much. WWG1WGA. Give me your thoughts below and